Welcome to the Eagles Sports Coaches Show here at the Side Street Grill at the Adrian Dorn University Center on the campus of Morehead State University. We'll have a full lineup of coaches. We'll have Coach Janey with the golf, Kevin Fulton with tennis, David Williams with softball. We'll finish the segment out with Jay Sorg, the baseball coach. I'd like to remind you first that Morehead State, in conjunction with the Kentucky Blood Center, will be holding a blood drive on Wednesday, March 7th from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Krager Room right here at the Adrian Dorn University Center. But, of course, it's extremely important to give blood during this time after the events of past weekend in East Kentucky. For more information on the blood drive, you can call 606-793-4977. That's Wednesday, March 7th, tomorrow, if you're here live, from 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Krager Room of the Adrian Dorn University Center. Also, if you'd like to make a donation to the disaster relief, you can go online to the main web page, moreheadstate.edu, and you can find out all the facts on that. Coach has joined us. How's it been so far, Coach?
Been great.
So tell us a little bit, just been in Florida for a little bit, got to play a little bit of a tournament.
I like the weather down there.
You like the weather?
88 degrees every day.
So tell us a little bit about the tournament you were in.
We were in Bethune-Cookman's tournament. It was a Gary Freeman Intercollegiate. And first tournament out of the year, different grasses, but we ended up 4th out of 11 teams. And the only teams that beat us were the Florida teams. And I was very disappointed in the way we played the first round, but we came back. Most of our kids are juniors, and they began to make a comeback. So
let's move it up a little bit so we can hear you.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. We can even do a cell phone commercial if you want to.
Right.
So, were you happy with the first tournament of the spring season, or how was your feelings on that?
I was very happy after the first round because we showed some improvement from the fall to the spring, and we had worked all winter on getting our kids to get the ball to the hole, and they were doing that. The thing that we did probably negatively or poorly was putting, but you're getting on little different grasses down there, and kids were a little shaky with a putter. We'd like to putt somewhere under 30 putts around, and we didn't consistently do that.
Tell us a little bit about your team. You mentioned that you were, kind of young with the players. You took, you said juniors down to the tournament, but tell us a little bit about your personnel.
Sam Zernhill is a junior from Louisville, Kentucky, Trinity High School. He was our leading stroke average golfer in the fall. And Sam, quite honestly, didn't play as well as I thought he would down there, but he's going to be a great golfer as the season progresses for us. And then we had Jared Flanner from over here at Elliott County. Jared played really well. He did not putt the ball as well as he's been putting. And Crit Reddick, who was our #1 golfer coming into this last year and had a medical red shirt, is just now getting back into the game. He had more birdies than anybody in the tournament, but he couldn't hold them because he swings very hard with a driver, and a lot of water in Florida, and a lot of sand, and that jumped up and grabbed him, but I was tickled to see him continue to make birdies. Then we had Dean Snyder from Mount Orb, Ohio. Sitting down here, but he's a junior, sitting down here, but one of our alumni, Pat Whitaker, and really outstanding student, played well, and will continue well this year. And then we have one young man from Canada named Michael Pinsino, and Michael is a sophomore, really made some progress over the course of this year.
You get right back in the swing of things after Florida. Of course, you're at the Grover Page Classic in Jackson, Tennessee. Pretty tough schedule as you head into the Ohio Valley Conference tournament.
It is, and of course we play in Jackson. Was established in 1919, so it's an old course, small greens, a lot of woodland, and we've got to hit the ball really straight down there and be able to get the ball on their greens. They're very small.
Of course, you're aiming for the end of April, the 26th through 28th, the OVC Championship in Dixon, Tennessee at the Greystone Country Club. Tell us a little bit about that course.
Well, it's a golf course that was dug out of an old rock quarry. It's a great golf course, probably not as long as some of the OVC championships in years past, but it will test our people. We were picked to finish sixth this year in the OVC, and rightly so because we are young. But I think we may surprise some people before the year's over.
So what would you like to improve on? You mentioned your putting wasn't good in Florida, different type of greens, maybe different conditions. What would you think your team has to improve on before we get to the OVC championships?
We've got to be able to get the ball up and down more consistently. The type of greens they got at Dixon elevated. So we had a little problem with them last year. I don't think we will this year. I think we're pretty close to what we had at Eagle Trace.
Well, after the Jackson Country Club, the Crover Page Classic, you'll be back in action April 9th and 10th at the Grub Mart Intercollegiate at Glencoe, Alabama. Tennessee State, Big Blue Intercollegiate at Oak Hickory. Out of those courses, which one do you like the best?
Well, certainly I prefer Silver Lakes. It's a Robert Trent Jones course. But now we're going to see a totally different course than we've ever seen. Josh Teeter held and will always hold the lowest score ever shot there for 54 holes, 8 under par. Of course, he's on the tour now. But last year, they lost over 100,000 trees off their complex. They had to rebuild every green. The greens, when they were first built, very undulating. And now I'm told they're flatter. So it's a great golf course, and we'll be in great shape of them.
So the people who've played there before, this will be a new adventure because it's maybe the same layout, but it's not the same course.
No, not nearly so, because the greens made that course. I've played it probably 50 times and dearly love the course. Tough putting greens, and they tell me they've taken undulation out of them. So you're going to have Jacksonville, who starts 4 foreigners, and they're all older and they can all play. So we've got our work cut out for us going down there.
You remember, you mentioned Josh Teeter, PGA professional. You know, you have to be very proud that he came from your program and is having some success on the PGA Tour.
He was a young man that came here. He wanted to sign a professional baseball contract. And I talked him into walking on here for a year. And he was a 5-year player and just a tremendous young man. He's become a tremendous golfer. He'll win a tour event before this year's over. You know,
he's played in a lot and earned a lot. Of course, you have to earn a lot to keep your tour card. But your son Lee has been trying to make his march or niche on a professional golf tour, and that has to be very proud as a father and also as a coach.
Well, what Lee has had to learn, it's hard for sons to listen to their dads. But I told him when he went down there, I said, when you learn to manage the courses and putt the ball, you'll start making cuts. Well, the last 2 cuts he's made, and his first 2 cuts of the season, first 2 tournaments, made both cuts, made me happy from my billfold standpoint. So he is more confident. 165 guys in the field, he finished 10th. 175 in the field, and he finished tied for 46 in the Sliceman. But he said he had problems from 4 feet and in getting the ball in the hole. Well, that's golf.
And it can turn as quickly as, it could be bad and then good and good and get bad. But you have to be proud of those 2 along with, several other of your alumni who are not professional golfers, who are doctor, lawyers, and businessmen. The fact that you've been around here for a little bit
Yeah, since 1960.
1960.
That's before you were even thought about being born.
That's a little bit before I was born, and probably all these people here. But you've had a great time here, and we wish you the best, and we'll have you on before the end of the season in the OVC tournament.
Thank you very much.
That's it for this this segment. We'll come back. We'll have Kevin Fulton, and we'll talk a little tennis here on the Eagles Sports Coaches Show.